This is the YOB ConvoCast, one-on-one conversations with your other brother's authors, community members, supporters, and friends.
What's up, friends? This is the YOB ConvoCast, and this is really exciting for me because I'm on the road. I have not recorded a podcast from outside of the Blue Ridge. I don't even know how long. It's been so long. And this is an exciting ConvoCast because I am making good on a promise kept that I actually recorded live on an episode many months ago with my guest today. He's been on this show many times. And I told him, I didn't check the records as far as what day it was, but it was like at least 6 to 8 months ago. I said, I'll be there. I'll be there for the Balloon Fiesta that happens every year in the Land of Enchantment. And here I am in the Land of Enchantment of Albuquerque, New Mexico with no one else but my dear brother, Matthew.
Finally.
What's up, Matthew?
Yeah.
Matthew, we've been meeting your friends. We're going to talk a lot in about 30 minutes. So been meeting your friends, because they asked, like, how do you know each other? And what's the connection? And I was like, me and Matthew go way back. Like when I moved across the country in 2010, I drove across the country looking for beds to sleep on. And I didn't know many people back then around the country, but I knew Matthew. I knew Matthew from the good old internet. And so that was the first time I met you. Was 12 years ago.
Yep.
And I've been hearing about this balloon festival for 12 years.
Yes, you have. But you've
and here I am.
Yeah, you've seen pictures of it.
I've seen pictures.
You've seen videos of it.
I've seen videos. I've seen friends visit. I've heard your stories. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I must say, we're on the tail end of this weekend. It's been a fast weekend, Matthew. We've done a lot. We're going to talk about it. But I will say it was quite magical to see the Balloon Fiesta for myself yesterday morning in the dark. I mean, let's just paint a picture. We woke up at like 5:30 in the morning. 5 in the morning for some of us, and drove in the dark down these Albuquerque, New Mexico highways to get to this Balloon Fiesta. And the sky is dark, sky is black. We hit a wall of traffic. And I could see, I know you won't admit this, Matthew, but I saw some panic in your eyes. Like, oh no, what do we do?
The panic was visible because
you just get quiet and you're like, okay, what do we do? What's the move?
I was thinking, I was like, I basically regressed to a 5 and just like, all right, I need to plan something.
Enneagram shout out. Yeah. He's regressing to 5, everybody. He's collapsing in on himself.
I guess.
But I will say it was magical. Even though we didn't get to the Balloon Fiesta when it officially opened, we were on the highway and could see the balloons. Like I was fixated on the cars. And then Matthew said, hey, look over there. Yeah. And I looked over there outside of his driver's side window, and there's probably like 8 to 10 hot air balloons still in the dark of night before the sun has even begun to rise. And you see the flames going off, and it like lights them up like lanterns. And I've only seen hot air balloons like 1 or 2 at a time in daylight. So this is like not only to see 8 at once in the sky, which was only the beginning, but 8 at once at night with the flames like lifting them up, and they glow like lanterns. Like it was pretty surreal. It was magical.
It definitely was. And I mean, for myself, living in New Mexico, you kind of see hot air balloons in the fall. It's a normal thing. Driving through Albuquerque on the freeway in the mornings and sometimes at night when the weather's good. Yeah, I mean, that's a normal thing. But when a friend from out of state comes in and views the Balloon Fiesta for the very first time, it's very special. And I had the honor of asking you to come and you keeping your word. And you delivering on your word. And
did you ever doubt me for a second?
Of course I did. Yeah.
I can't believe you would doubt me, Matthew. I'm a man of my word. I honestly do seek to make my yes be yes. Like that has mattered more to me in recent years. Like I think I used to be somebody who would people please and will say, oh yeah, I'll do that. Or
you did a lot in the past.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
But I think now it's something that I'm more conscious of, and I want to like follow through. Like, I think when I said what I'd have to check the records. I didn't listen back to that episode, whatever it was when we talked many months ago. But whatever my wording was, I was authentic in saying I will do my best. I don't know if I definitively said I will be there, but I said I will do my best.
You said you were going to do your best, and
here I am.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Hey, that means you're growing.
It means I'm growing, you guys. I'm keeping my word.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, and seeing only 8 to 10 balloons, that was just the start. Because I had this thought that, okay, there's going to be like 20 or 30 more. And how fun will that be? But like...
Boy, he was wrong.
They just kept popping out. Like,
yep.
Well, like what's like a good metaphor? Like...
bubbles?
Bubbles?
I don't know.
I was thinking of like eggs popping out of a
hen? A rooster? What?
No, it's like eggs through a fallopian tube. This is what I'm envisioning. But I'm seeing all these balloons like popping out of the ground, like they're popping out of the tree line or the building line, like the horizon line. There we go.
There you go.
And they're just like popping out one after the other, and they just kept coming. And there's easily hundreds of them in the sky all at once. And I was telling Matthew, because I was looking at some pictures a little while ago, it looks photoshopped. It doesn't look real. That there's all these like little colorful dots just hanging in the sky like ornaments on a tree, and they're just floating out there. And it was magical. You know, we spent a couple hours there yesterday just walking around. They have like shops, and we got coffee and donuts and walked around the throngs of people. And it was
a lot of people.
It was an event.
It was a lot of people there. And
I think this was the post-COVID
it definitely was
Balloon Fiesta.
Yeah, it was definitely the post-COVID Balloon Fiesta. And because of that, I mean, the reason why we were late was because of the traffic. It's usually not that, it's bad, but it's not that bad. But it was bad during the first day of Balloon Fiesta, what we call mass ascension. So
not mask ascension.
Not mask ascension, but mass
ascension.
Yeah. So like you have the mass of like the big group area, a lot of balloons going in the air. So that's mass ascension. So and you, I mean, we although we got there late, we still enjoyed ourselves, even though I was still mad that we got there late.
You were mad that we weren't there for the actual mass ascension, not from the freeway, but from the grounds itself. Yeah, it was still cool.
Yeah, it definitely was cool. The thing I was mostly just mad about was that we didn't get into like where the basically ground zero of where the balloons just started. And we could have gotten there, but again, we were late. But we still, I mean, we enjoyed ourselves.
We still saw, walking around the grounds, we still saw a couple dozen balloons still on the ground.
Yeah, you saw like a few balloons like taking off like in person.
And it was just so triumphant too, because there's like the people surrounding the balloons, and they start cheering as soon as the balloon lifts off, and then they're waving from the basket down below. Yeah. It's like a special little moment, you know, and then they go off into the air, and then they just follow the wind, and they just
they do
drift for miles, and who knows where they're going to land, but they're going to land somewhere.
Yes.
And then there's these two old guys announcing it as we're walking around. There's like play by play, like, there goes another one. And they're talking about there's balloon chasers, which I had no idea this was a thing, where I guess in pickup trucks or SUVs or something, their friends, their family, their whoever will follow them wherever they float, wherever they go. And then they follow them to wherever they land in the middle of this desert, and then they pick up the balloon, pack it up, and
pack up the balloons, the basket that they're the humongous basket that they're in, and also make sure that everything is safe and sound, that they're not in a too dangerous area as well. And then they just do it either the next morning or the evening time. And it's just for a good week, about like 7 to 10 days or something like that.
Yeah, this is a thing, you guys. It's all week long. And I'm glad I'm finally here for it. You know, I've visited New Mexico 5 or 6 times over the last decade, and I've always enjoyed it. Matthew's a great guide, a great tour guide,
a great host,
great connector, a great host. Yeah. And so I'm glad I finally did this. Yeah. And highly recommended. Come to Albuquerque the first week. Is it always the first week of October?
Always the first weekend of October.
There you go.
So this is
check it out.
Yeah, when Balloon Fiesta happens, when it hits, that's basically New Mexico's version of official fall. So now it's officially fall.
Now you can have your PSLs, everybody.
Exactly.
Not like August 30th, like Starbucks is trying to get people to do whatever. Yeah.
Or like the official quote unquote first day of fall in September. No. Here in New Mexico, Like
not until the balloons hit the heavens,
exactly.
then it's fall. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's fun. This is a fun time. And Matthew, it's a little anticlimactic because in our last ConvoCast, I debuted the new YOB hourglass, and it's this magnificent hourglass that I've acquired that has a 30-minute sand timer. So when you turn it over, like the days of our lives, the sand falls through. And when the sand runs out, so does our time together. So I don't have the hourglass with me, but we have a metaphorical hourglass turning, and we're about a third of the way through.
Yeah.
We've got the balloons out of the way now.
Yep.
I guess carrying on from our adventure, there's a lot to hit on because yesterday was our big travel day. We did the balloons in the morning, and then I'm big into national parks. My goal is to visit every national park. There's like 60 or 70 of them across America. And I've been to about 20, but I added my 21st yesterday by going. And this was cool because I got to experience something new with you in New Mexico, which is a very rare thing, I think.
Yeah.
And we went to White Sands
National Park. Yeah, White Sands National Park. And it was great. I've never been there, although I live here in New Mexico. I've never been to the White Sands, and I always wanted to go, but I wanted to go with friends. And sometimes it doesn't go the way you plan. Everybody bails, but you were, you wanted to go, and it was like, and I jumped on it. It's like, let's go.
I know. I told him, because it's like a 3-4 hour drive from where we are, and so I was like, I don't know if he's gonna want to, but I'll put it out there. I'll say, hey, if you want to make that drive, I'll totally do it with you. And not only did we go, 2 of your buddies came along too. I've gotten to meet a lot of your friends this week. Surprise, surprise. That always happens. But we drove there. And so this long drive, and I was joking with you earlier. It's just funny because me and Matthew were in the front, and then these 2 straight guys are in the back. Yeah. And they're like talking. I mean, they're talking about lots of things. So I don't want to stereotype them and make them like animals or something. But there were like at least 3 or 4 times where they talked about, they did this event together the other night. They went to this thing, and they're talking about all these like hot women or beautiful women. Like, oh, I wanted to get her number.
Yeah. So that was like,
is this a real conversation?
That was a real conversation, and it did happen. And me and Tom were just like, we're just silent. We're just like kind of like smiling to ourselves and like kind of chuckling.
But it's like, it's funny, and it sounds like stereotypical or like out of a sitcom or something. But then I often wonder, like when I'm with my side B friends or like YOB friends, I just wonder like, what are things that we talk about when we're commenting on like other guys or celebrities or just male friends or male people that we know, and we're commenting on them, like their looks or their personalities or whatever. Like I often wonder like if on the other side of the coin, if like people would be rolling their eyes at us.
Probably.
It probably goes both ways.
I wouldn't be surprised if like we have that same perspective, or like people look at us with that same
I was thinking about just like, because they're just in their own little world. They're probably not thinking twice about what we're reacting to, listening to them. But it's like, I don't know, just having that perspective through the masculinity lens as we're talking on this episode today, I was like, wow, that is just something that I do not do.
Yeah, thank God they didn't ask us like about like, oh, it's like who are you into, like what are you dating girls or anything, like thank God they didn't ask us, because like,
or like who's the hottest female celebrity.
I hate that question. It's dumb. It's freaking dumb. I don't like it. But other than that, like besides that conversation, we still have,
it was fun. Those guys were fun. I had a good time.
They're hilarious. They're really funny. But I love them. They're some good friends of mine.
You got some good people here.
Oh yeah,
Matthew.
definitely.
I can't imagine you would ever leave this place.
No.
Do you feel like you're gonna live and die here in Albuquerque?
Yeah, basically.
I can't imagine you living like anywhere else, legitimately.
No.
Like you in Boston. Makes no sense.
So I'm
no sense to me.
Yeah, so I mean, like maybe in the future, as times change, maybe I could leave,
I don't believe it.
But New Mexico is a very, very unique place, and it's a very special place.
When I think New Mexico, I think of Matthew. They're synonymous.
Yeah.
One and the same. What did you say a person from Albuquerque is called? What's the slang term?
Okay, so the person from Albuquerque they're called Burqueños.
Burqueños.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so it's like somebody from Albuquerque, Burqueño type of thing. Yeah.
I feel like an honorary Burqueño because of all the things I've gotten to experience here. Yeah, and White Sands was gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was like they filmed Transformers there.
Yes.
We saw some signage for, and it's just like literally, I mean, it's what it is. It's white sand in the middle of the New Mexican desert. So like everything else is brown and kind of arid around it. And there's mountains, surrounding the area, but there's no water. There's no beach.
Nope.
Like there's no lake. I mean, there's lakes, I guess, on the distant corner of the park sometimes if it rains enough. But like where we were, it was dry as a bone. But the sand, someone was commenting on this, like it's cool sand. It's not, it's gypsum sand. So like when you step on it and walk on it,
hot.
It's not hot at all.
Yeah, it doesn't burn your feet. Yeah, and it was like so like fine.
Yeah,
and
fluffy.
it was fluffy and just like you could take a hike just barefoot and like you wouldn't mind at all. And it was so surreal. It was so surreal. It was so pretty. And it's like people like things like, oh, it's just sand. It's like, no, this is different. This is a different experience.
Yeah. And it's not just like the beach, like flat sands.
Yes.
It's like dunes. So you're like you climb all these hills, and there's like dozens, if not hundreds of these dunes just scattered around this park. Yeah. And so we were just like nomads. We were like Israelites. We were just wandering.
For real. Yes.
We just literally just parked the car and just started walking. Sometimes we were together. Sometimes we separated and just did our own thing. And just like took some good pictures and walked around and just really basked. It was great weather, great times.
Yes.
And straight out of like some alien world.
Perfect time to go. And we definitely enjoyed ourselves being at the White Sands. We were there for like 2 hours or something like that.
A couple hours. Yeah, it was fun. You commented like, so like, would you ever go to a place like that by yourself, or do you need or strongly desire other people there with you?
I need or strongly desire people to go with me.
It's so interesting. I had a feeling you would answer that way, because I definitely lean the other way, because normally I'm trying to think quickly in my head. I think there's probably been 1 or 2 national parks I've gone to with people, but for the most part, when I go to these places, like I go by myself. I kind of treat it as a meditative journey. Like I'm going there, processing things, talking with the Lord, journaling, writing postcards to people. I love to do that. Sometimes I camp at these places. So I camp overnight and really turn it into like a trek, into a sojourn. And I love it. But then I also, it was good yesterday to have that experience of spending it with other people, because that's not something I usually do when I go to these types of places. So it was good. It was good to switch it up a little bit, but I was curious if that's something, that you do, is like go on those solo adventures like that.
Yeah. I view it as like something very special, because you of course you have your own perspective of going to a national park, but when you do it with friends, it's like, there's something special about it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, everybody has like a little piece of the national parks, monuments, that they see, that they touch, that they feel, and just like have like all this stuff like in their minds. And then if you talk about it, then you share a moment. You share a moment. And it's like, hey, this is how I view it. This is what I got out of it. And then you learn more about other people, and you learn more about yourself as well. I
was just thinking about it, because like when we were walking back to the car, one of your friends found a ladybug on the sand. And I was just thinking, like, that's such a little detail, but like I would have never seen it, because I was walking like 20 feet away from him at the time. So I would have never seen this one little ladybug on a sand dune in the middle of this park. But he saw it, and he like was so like fancied by it. Like he picked it up, he took a picture of it in his hand, and he just noticed that detail of a ladybug in this national park that I would have never noticed. And like, so that's just like a little detail, but I mean, it connects to bigger concepts. Like when you share a moment like that with somebody, like they'll see something, they'll experience something that you don't see just by their vantage point. So so it was fun. Yeah. I love that we now can share, because that was your first time. It was my first time. You thought it was this other friend's first time, but it actually wasn't. Yeah, and then it was this, but it was 3/4 of our first times. Yeah, 3/4. So we mostly shared that new experience together. Yeah,
and of course, like we had pretty good tacos. We went to a Mexican restaurant after that, and that was good food too.
I got a tostada with like ahi tuna and mango and tomatoes and avocados. It was so good. And then I couldn't resist. I had to get the churros for dessert with vanilla ice cream and caramel. Good. Yeah. And that was good
so good.
And I was so nice to share.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I couldn't have eaten all. There was 4 of them. There was four churros on this plate. There's no way I could have eaten all of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good thing we went with. We all went together.
Sharing is, in fact, caring. It was great. That was another moment to share with. Like I got to share my churros. Like how sad would that have been if I had to throw away? Because nobody wants a cold soggy churro for a leftover. Like I wouldn't have been able to take that with me. So I'm glad I had people to share that with.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And then so I have to make sure we cover this. Like, so then riding back, of course, because we missed your church service, because we had to drive 3.5 hours away.
Yes.
Luckily, Matthew to the rescue. We have our Lord and Savior Skip on YouTube, and we can go and watch him. So we watched your church service, live streamed on the drive back. So
well, that's my secondary church. So
let's be clear. Yeah, it's his double dip church. It's where he goes on the side when he's not primarily dating the one church. He's going to this other church. And it was funny because I saw on the screen, like they were just finishing their worship time before the pastor came on to speak. And I was like, who is that? Because there was a mannequin in the background wearing like a big hoodie and sunglasses. And I was like, what is that? Yeah,
you were trying to figure that out. And
Matthew had no idea. He was like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't care. It's like, I was the one that was driving. So, yeah.
But I wanted to bring this up because he did a message, which was actually really good, about the old man and the new man. And so there's actually two mannequins on the stage. Yes. One that was dressed kind of like gangsta, kind of like
hobo
gangsta. And then another one, which had limited clothing on, which he then proceeded to dress throughout his sermon, because he was talking about the clothing metaphor. Was it from Colossians, I think, or Ephesians?
Yes.
But putting on the new man. Yeah, putting on the new man. And I thought it was kind of clever the way he did it, because he like labeled something for the shirt, something for like a belt, or something for hat. Yeah. And so it's like all these qualities of the new man, which not directly are the fruit of the Spirit, but kind of related to the fruit of the Spirit, the things that are mentioned in that passage. And it was fun because like it was a callback to, I don't know if you remember this, but earlier in that drive, we were talking about the fruit of the Spirit.
Yes, we were.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like the fruit of the Spirit. And we were also joking about the anti-fruit of the Spirit.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was like bringing up a lot of the things that we talked about, like about love and patience and forbearance with one another. And so it was kind of cool just to be a part of that. Because that's the thing. When you visit Matthew, I've joked about it many times, like, get ready, like bring your church clothes. You're going to 3 services. You're meeting his friends at these meals.
And so services.
So this was our YouTube service. And then we went to another church service this morning.
Yes, this morning on Sunday.
Which was also really good. This was your primary church.
Yes, this is the official spouse. Yes. So this is the primary church that I attend, that I serve. It's a very, very tiny church, just like 50 people max, about probably 7 people minimum, including servants there. So you've been to my home church 3-4 years ago when you
pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. And there were some people that kind of like recognized you. It's like, hey, it's like, I think I remember you. And then once we talked, it's like, yeah, now I remember you. And then just like having a little chit chat and just seeing what everybody's doing. And then I also made you help out tear down our church service.
Yeah. Only my second time going to this church, and I'm already on the like volunteer team, prepping, like tearing down all the chairs and the curtains and all the tables and everything. Yeah, which I don't mind doing. It was fun.
I mean, well, that goes to show you how small the church is. And everything.
It needs all hands on deck.
It
needs everybody contributing.
Yeah, definitely. But we enjoyed ourselves this morning.
Yeah, it was good. I told your pastor that I really liked his message today, because he did a parallel between the tabernacle as it's described in Exodus, and then also how Jesus like exemplifies the tabernacle in the New Testament and through the resurrection. And he talked about a lot of things about like the Ark of the Covenant and the cherubim on the and the mercy seat.
Yes.
And I love the image of like when Mary goes to the tomb after Jesus has risen, and there's 2 angels standing at his head and at his feet.
Yes.
And how that is such a mirror image of the mercy seat. And that's where we find Jesus right there, the risen Christ. And then to his credit, like he was like, I totally stole that from Beth Moore. I was like,
that was funny.
Shout out to Queen Beth Moore.
That was funny. It's
the favorite of old straight evangelical men. We love Beth Moore.
Yeah. that was hilarious.
But it was such a beautiful image. And I was like, man, that was a good word. Both of those messages were great.
Along with that, you met more friends, and then you met some people who know about my same-sex attraction, sexuality stuff. And
yeah, you see, this is a thing with you, because I have to always like just be a little wary, because not everybody knows Matt's story. Sometimes I visit people and they're like open books, and so then there's less of an awkwardness, or it's not necessarily an awkwardness, it's just being careful and respecting your privacy and your boundaries. And so I don't want to mention like, oh yeah, we're on this podcast together, and then they'll ask like, oh, what's the podcast, or what's the blog, or so it's just like I always say like, oh yeah, well, a bunch of years ago I had a blog and Matthew found my blog and we just became friends, and I crashed his couch when I moved to California. Yeah. And so we've just stayed in touch over the years, and that's kind of, keep it basic. Yeah.
But. Well, I mean, like right now I'm kind of in that transition of friendship where like old friends are moving on, doing their own thing, and the new friends are coming in. So in that way, I got to basically start over, coming out to people, all the stuff. And then I just kind of feel around how people are reacting to just like LGBTQ issues and just the different stuff, this and that, all that stuff. So as of right now, Tom's kind of in that transition period. But he's getting to know the friends that I still have right now, and they're treating him very, very well, and which I love. And not only that, but you're also having great food as well.
Oh my gosh, what have we eaten so far? We've had Vietnamese food. Yes. We've had pizza, local pizza good
here
stuff with green chilies on it because it's New Mexico. Yeah, and they call it the 505 in these parts. Yeah, the 505,
which pizza. Is basically pepperoni pizza with green chili. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. We've had that. We've had tacos. We just had these. Gosh, what was that called? This popsicle. Palado bar, yes, or something, where it's basically like a popsicle, and then you just dress it up with different chocolate or toppings, and they dip it in, and so that was really fun and eclectic. Some Dutch Bros, Dutch Bros coffee, which is
my pride.
It's a West Coast thing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, we've gotten to have some good food, good drinks,
good
company, good services, national parks, balloons. I mean, this has been. The only sad thing, Matthew, is the tram is busy this weekend. I wanted to ride the tram that goes over the mountains and looks out over the city, because I've never done that yet, but that'll have to be another visit.
Well, yeah, next time, whenever you come back, we'll definitely go on the tram. Whenever it is clear skies, when the weather is fair, and you'll definitely love it. There are a few people that have been on the tram, and they loved it. They loved seeing the city on the mountain, and just different. It gives you a different perspective of how big and how small a city and a people are. And I think you will enjoy it as well.
Even though, I just remembered though, even though we didn't do the tram this trip, you did take me on a quick hike, which took us into like a cleft of a rock, like looking out over the city, over sunset. So that was good.
Yeah, we definitely saw the sunset, and I knew it would be something that you would enjoy. You enjoy just like the beauty of nature, and not only that, but you're kind of a hiker too. So it's like, I am. Yeah.
Did you tailor this trip specifically?
Yes, I did.
Me, like I'm not a nightclubber. I'm not.
No, well, I'm not a nightclubber either. Okay. But yeah,
but yeah, you knew I like parks. I love epic views. I love just solitude. Even today has been nice because it's been so go the last 2 days, and today's been way more chill. With church lunch, just coming home, being still for a few hours, recharging because there is a big church thing tonight. So I'm charging my batteries, but we'll get ready to go. Meet some new people.
Yeah. So we're not done yet. We are definitely not done yet.
You give me good social workouts. You give me like relational workouts, which I need. I need to stretch those muscles.
Yeah. I'm giving you kind of the boost of it. So tonight we're going to go to another church service. It's the college age ministry that I go to, and I have many more friends that I want you to
guys
meet.
Matthew has too many friends. What do we do?
I do. You're just gonna have to deal with it and learn how to be social. And I'm pushing you out of your boundaries, and I'm teaching you how to be a connector of people.
You are. Yes. I didn't even mention, like, I'm wearing this new shirt that I got because we went shopping as well. We've done so much in the last week. So I'm wearing like a nicer clothes because I'm on a massive trip right now where I only had limited room to fit clothing into my backpack. And so, I had some decent things, but I didn't have like a church type setup. So we went shopping and worked out with you at the gym.
You went to my gym.
Yeah, I did a workout with you. I said, just do what you normally do and I'll follow you. And for the most part, I kept up. My knees are not what they used to be, Matthew. You'll know when you get to my age.
Okay.
A year from now, you'll know how it is. Yeah. But other than that, I enjoyed that. I'm getting back into a physical regimen myself. So
hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you are getting back to your fit self, fit Tom. And
just in time for winter.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're nowhere near me, but hey, you're getting there.
No, Matthew has changed a lot, you guys. I'm not gonna body shame him or anything, but he just looks good. He looks healthy. He looks strong.
Thank you.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with your regimen. You seem pretty. Just because I'm visiting, that doesn't mean you're taking an off day from the gym.
No. Oh,
he was like, I'm going to the gym, so you can either come with me or not. So I was like, oh, I'll go. I'll do it.
Yeah, but hey, I'm proud of you that you kept up. And although there's some weights that I had to go down, we had to go lighter. You still kept up, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Matthew has really blossomed, you guys. I mentioned it on the Enneagram 8 episode, which was the last time he was on this podcast, but he really is this is an affirmation. And I've already told you this, Matthew, but you're leaning into that 2 side of growth of looking out for people, considering their emotions, people that are just undoubtedly more emotional than you for the most part. It's probably rare that you find somebody less emotional than you, I imagine. But you're just I don't know, you have more of an aura of caring. Not that you weren't caring before, because that sounds awful, but you're a fun, swell person, whether we're driving for 6 hours in a day or we're just chilling
10 hours
or 10 hours.
Yeah.
or just chilling, chilling at home. It's fun. It's been a good trip.
Well, hey, do you know who you should thank? Trauma.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Trauma.
Yeah.
This episode
Trauma.
Is sponsored by Trauma. We don't have sponsors for our ConvoCast, but this can be unofficially sponsored by Trauma.
Well, if it wasn't for Trauma, I wouldn't be kind and learn from it. So.
Well, that's amazing that you've taken something meant for evil and meant for bad, and turned it into something good. Yeah. You have put on the belt of love, as your secondary pastor would say.
Yes.
And wrapped it around You've girded your loins with the belt of love.
Okay.
And there we go.
Okay, that's enough. I can't.
I think we're done. I think the hourglass has run out, Matthew.
No, it has. It definitely has.
Yeah. And I think we covered it all. Does that feel adequate to you? We covered the weekend?
That's it. All our busyness for this weekend. And we're going to hit it strong tonight with
we're gonna hit it strong, you guys.
with Collective. And you're going to meet more people. I'm excited. And hey, do you know what? What we should do in a little bit?
What should we do?
We should go longboarding.
Let's
do it.
I haven't longboarded in, I think, pre-COVID. I think it's been years.
Yes. And I know a perfect spot.
We'll see how I do.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And let's hope that Tom doesn't twist his ankle or go too fast or have any kind of a mishap, because this has been a really good weekend and it would suck if all of a sudden I'm injured for the next leg of my journey, because my journey's not done yet. I am here in New Mexico for one more night, and then I've got another leg. I'm excited to be on the road again. I don't have my magical hourglass with me, so that's sad, but I have my friends with me. It's fun to be able to do this not on Zoom.
Yes.
Zoom is kind of the worst. It's the best, but it's also the worst.
It is.
It creates so many potential possibilities for connectivity, but man, it's nice to be bumping knees with somebody on the same couch.
And you can actually see my facial expression of when I'm disappointed.
When he has that attitude of disgust or disapproval. Yeah, he can show it. Yeah. He can show his sus when he looks sus.
Yeah. No.
When this conversation isn't bussin'.
Please don't.
When I'm acting chuggy.
No.
We were looking at some
save that for Collective tonight, because there's gonna be a lot of Gen Zers over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
Yep.
You're where it's at.
Yep. All right. Let's go longboarding.
All right, dear brother Matthew. Until we cast our next convo. See y'all later.
Laters.
Let's go board.
Okay.
Let's go board, bruh.